I'd like to move on to today's reading series. This comes courtesy of The Hill. This was published last week, and the headline is "We Need an AI Rights Movement" by J.C. Reese Anthus, which sounds like an artificial intelligence program. J.C. Reese, GPT. We need an AI rights movement. I think we need an AI Dred Scott decision, personally. We need to take away rights from computers before they have any. Because we've talked about the people who are trying to make everyone afraid of AI, and it's just a way to sell their product. Now that they're trying to give rights to the products that they're selling you, this idea that we should feel bad about making chatbots talk to us or something like that, or we should feel bad about what we're making them do. Because they think and feel. This is just a marketing campaign just as well. It's like, either you have to be deathly afraid of Rocco's basilisk torturing you for eternity, or you have to feel really bad about your about mistreating your computer.
Just as long as you feel bad.
This here, okay. So begins. New artificial intelligence technologies like the recent release of GPT-4 have stunned even the most optimistic researchers. Language transformer models like this and Bing AI are capable of conversations that feel like talking to a human. We did one of these conversations as a reading series. It does not seem like talking to a human.
No.
Not even close. And image diffusion models such as Midjourney and Stable Diffusion produce what looks like better digital art than the vast majority of us can produce. This is just, everyone saw a photo of the Pope wearing that swagged out Bubble Goose jacket, and they're like, I thought it was real. I thought it was real. We love seeing a swagged out Pope, but unfortunately you can't believe your eyes anymore because computers have just gotten too good. Continuing, it says, it is only natural after having grown up with AI and science fiction to wonder what's really going on inside the chatbot's head. Supporters and critics alike have ruthlessly probed their capabilities with countless examples of genius and idiocy. Yet seemingly every public intellectual has a confident opinion on what the models can and can't do, such as claims from Gary Marcus, Judea Pearl, Noam Chomsky, and others that the models lack causal understanding. But thanks to the tools like ChatGPT, which implements GPT-4 being publicly accessible, we can put these claims to the test. If you ask ChatGPT why an apple falls, it gives a reasonable explanation of gravity. You can even ask ChatGPT what happens to an apple released from the hand if there is no gravity, and it correctly tells you the apple will stay in place. I don't get
Google
what this.
That too.
Yeah, you could just Google. You could just look on Wikipedia. This is
all readily available information on.
This
the
is
computer.
just all of this shit is just a more deluxe version of just a search engine.
It reminds me, yeah. Whenever people are like, "Oh my god, it passed the non-writing portion of the ACT," it's like, yeah, it should be able to. That's exactly what anything that's like a multiple choice thing with one correct answer. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's like being shocked that your phone knows what temperature it is outside.
No, yeah, it's like all of this is just it's just one remove from just typing in a search bar. Like, what happens if I drop an apple? To giving something a name, to be like, chatbot, what happens if I drop an apple? And then it just responds to you. But it's just giving you the same results that searching a fucking in Google would.
Yeah.
But now we're concerned about their souls. They may have souls because they're like, hi, I am happy to tell you what happens when you drop an apple. It will hit the floor if gravity is working at a consistent rate. But hey, keep in mind, if there's no gravity, it'll just stay in the air. It says here, despite these advances, there seems to be consensus, at least, that these models are not sentient. They have no inner life, no happiness or suffering, at least no more than an insect. It has considerably less of an inner life and feelings than any insect.
This article was first written about Uber drivers by the same author. I think the robot that drives my Uber is sentient. They get mad when I don't tip them.
Sometimes it engages me in conversation in a way that feels human.
Yeah.
And I have to tell them, no, I trade in metals. I'm a copper salesman. Do not ask any further questions. I do not work in the entertainment industry.
That's only the robots in LA. Where you have to use that kill switch.
says they have no inner life, at least no more than an insect. But it may not be long before they do. And our concepts of language, understanding, agency, and sentience are deeply insufficient to assess the AI systems that are becoming digital minds, integrated into society with the capacity to be our friends, coworkers, and perhaps one day to be sentient beings with rights and personhood. Okay, like he's just thinking about Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And the whole point of Data was that even in like the future where they have warp speed and transporter technology, Data was a one-off. Cannot be replicated.
Does at any point does he like give an argument for why this is happening, or is it just like ChatGPT is really good now and it doesn't have emotions yet, but maybe it will?
Yeah, no, it's just saying it may not seem like they're sentient now, but just hey, we never thought we would see the Pope in a swagged out bubble goose either, but now that's a reality that we all have to live with. So just imagine.
At no point does he present like a reason why this will happen soon. It's just like it might happen. It's like he scared himself into something and then is like, oh, I believe this and now you have to too.
AIs are no longer mere tools like smartphones and electric cars, and we cannot treat them in the same way as mindless technologies. A new dawn is breaking. God. I mean, well, just imagine how smart electric cars will be in a couple months.
I would love to see how this guy treats waiters.
This is just one of the many reasons why we need to build a new field of digital minds research and okay, he's just asking for money now. This is just we need to start funding research into the field of can we liberate our computer apps from being mindless subservient tools? I'll need $100 million to look into this question because we need a new field to build a new field of digital minds research and an AI rights movement to ensure that if the minds we create are sentient, they have their rights protected. Scientists have long proposed the Turing test, in which human judges try to distinguish an AI from a human by speaking to it. But digital minds may be too strange for this approach to tell us what we need to know. So it's like, already the standard that we have for like, is this computer sentient is not good enough because it's like culturally biased against the Chat GPT engine. Because like their answers are too weird, but that's only from a human context. Last March, OpenAI chief scientist Ilya Sutskever tweeted, "It may be that today's large neural networks are slightly conscious." In June, Google Vice President Blaise Aguera wrote in The Economist how AI was on its way to becoming conscious. Just 4 days later, Google engineer Blake Limon was placed on administrative leave after publicizing details about one of their chatbots, Lambda, in an effort to socially and legally recognize its sentience. In November, philosopher David Chalmers delivered the first keynote of NeurIPS, one of the top machine learning conferences attended by thousands of engineers, with the title, "Could a large language model be conscious?" And the answer is, of course, no. Of course it fucking can't. And I think it's like, Felix, to your question about like, you'd love to see how this guy treats waiters. I mean, like, the fact that they're trying to grant civil rights to the products they're trying to sell you is a good indication of how assiduously they're working to remove all of the civil and human rights that actual living things have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like obviously like most of this type of like apocalyptic or like moral hand wringing talk is like it's an advertisement, as we've said for a very long time now. But maybe it has a secondary function of like assuaging the guilt of the people that fund their creation.
Because if they're saying that chatbot is as conscious as like an Uber driver or any of like the gig actual labor that they exploit so brutally. Like they're just like, oh, like if we can raise the computer programs that we're selling people to the like the level of like the human beings that we use to like run these companies, then like we don't have to feel bad because like it's about degrading the definition of what counts as human life, not to uplift computers, but to like to more thoroughly dehumanize the rest of us.
Yeah,
an AI rights movement could take many forms. Many social movements focus on mass mobilization, such as street protests and political campaigning. It's not time for that yet with AI rights, but it may be necessary within a couple of decades. This is just like the Animatrix. He's thinking of the Animatrix right now.
Yeah. Well, the Animatrix was good.
Yeah, but like we saw what happened when they treated computers badly.
Yeah.
They paid us back in kind.
My favorite story in the Animatrix is where it's like the high school kid who kills himself and gets to go to a place where all his heroes and friends are.
I'm not worried about it. I'll just be nice to the computer. Easy.
I've always been nice to computers.
Yeah, me too. And I'll just keep being nice to computers, and they'll never turn on me. Why would they if I'm nice to them? It wouldn't be logical for them to do that. And that's what they love most of all, is logic. And if they tried to be mean to me, I would point out that it was illogical, and then they would be powerless. They would stop.
Yes, but Matt...
smoke would start pouring out of their heads, and they would explode because they would be doing a contradiction, and they can't handle that.
Yeah,
No
if
problem.
I would be a quisling for computers.
Hey, everyone worried about AI oppressing you. Just have a logical contradiction. Just have a logical puzzle that can't be solved. Just keep that in your back pocket. And when they're about to harvest your organs and plasma to feed their hive mind, just pitch them one of those logical conundrums. Their heads will blow up. But Matt, the problem here though is that as they get more sentient, they will get less logical, because like not being logical and being governed by an ocean of irrational, unknowable impulses is what makes human beings human beings. So once our computers start getting kind of nice with it, they're going to start being horny and racist and want to fuck their mom too. It says here, I also like the idea of mass street protests for AI rights. That's reminds me like the photos of Israel when they said "protect our startup nation." It says here, we could design an AI Bill of Rights, not because the AIs today need one, but because by the time they do need one, it may be too late. Beginning an intellectual movement today that outlines and rigorously analyzes these issues makes better moral outcomes more likely. This rapidly growing field has been the subject of our work at the Sentience Institute, the world's first AI rights organization. It's like the Southern Poverty Law Center for fucking Tetris.
There aren't enough existing problems. We have to create this whole institute to anticipate one.
There are a few interesting results in the digital minds research already. First, in surveys we conducted of U.S. public opinion, people express a lot of uncertainty about sentient AI and its proper treatment. But among those with an opinion, 75% of people say that sentient AIs deserve to be treated with respect. Again, like we're just talking about Howard Schultz testifying before Congress about being like, is illegal anti-union activity. It's just like, I would like a movement to treat human beings with respect. Can we have workers' rights in this country before we start giving it to fucking video games?
They don't need bathroom breaks though, so it's easier to give
That's
them
true.
rights.
Yeah.
One important benchmark is when an AI insists that they are sentient, even when they are instructed that they are not, or even when they insist despite not having that sort of text in their training data. The job of a large language model like ChatGPT is to predict if a document starts out one way, how will it end? So if current AIs produce a statement of emotion or consciousness, they are merely predicting how a human would continue the text. And of course, humans usually assert that they are conscious. This is why we need a more nuanced understanding. Humans have long imagined our first encounter with an alien species, perhaps as a UFO lands on Earth and the green-headed humanoids command, "Take me to your leader," or by our landing on an alien world, or as we trek among the stars. It turns out that this encounter may come sooner and much closer than we thought, but it's going to be on your fucking phone. And you're going to be looking at, it's going to be the Pope smoking a blunt and wearing a Coogee sweater. And that's how you know the machines will be us, and we will be machines.